Verify that it's coming in on YouTube. All right, we are live. We can start.
Okay, thank you, Jade. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 1st, 2021 River Falls Planning Commission meeting. First thing we're going to do is say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next, Brandy, can we have a roll call, please?
You bet. Paul Camp.
Here.
LaRue.
Here.
Moody.
Here.
Prendergast.
Here.
Hinsman. Oh, I'm sorry. Hoffland.
Here.
Odine.
Here.
And Mayor.
Yep, I hear. Okay. Next, we're going to approval of the minutes from the May 4th, 2021 Plan Commission meeting. I'll take a motion on that.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the last planning commission meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we have first and second. Was there anybody have any questions on the minutes? Okay, Brandy, we have first and second on the meeting minutes.
Okay. Paul Camp.
Aye.
LaRue.
Yes.
Moody.
Aye.
Prendergast.
Aye.
Odine.
Aye.
Hoffland.
Aye.
And Mayor.
Aye. Okay, next we'll move on to public comments. Jane, you said these public comments will be about anything that's not on the agenda. So I don't know if the person at the city hall had any non-agenda comments.
Let me ask quick.
Okay, thanks.
We do have something for Broadway and Main Street when that comes up in the agenda, but nothing
Yep.
on the agenda.
Okay. So we'll move on to, before I open up the public hearing on the 700 South Main Street, I will have, Brandy's going to give us a little presentation on it. So I'll have that, then we'll open up the public hearing, and her presentation might answer some questions any citizens might have. So Brandy, whenever you're ready.
Jaden, would you please allow me to share my screen?
Yes, just a second here. All right, you should be good.
Okay. I'm sorry, hold on. I have to learn this every time. Okay. I believe you're seeing the presentation now? Is that correct? Sorry, folks.
Yes, looks good, Brandy.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Now I have it both on my screen and your screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, everybody. As you know, this presentation is on the general development plan for River Falls Senior Living Project at 700 South Main Street. The developer for this project is Matt Frisbee of Frisbee Properties, LLC. This site, the 700 block, has a little bit of history. It's locally known as the McEwen block because it was owned by the McEwen family until I think around 2018. In 2017, the family had decided to get the site ready for sale, and in doing so, they had the alley right-of-way vacated. Shortly after that, it gained the interest of several developers, So in late 2017, Cohen Esri approached the city with the concept for low to moderate income multifamily with the hope that they would receive funding by WIDA. Ultimately, it did not receive the anticipated funding and that project did not move forward. And then a couple years later in 2019, Talon LLC submitted a proposal for a 93-unit luxury student housing project. And it was later determined by that developer that the project couldn't be viable. And so that was pulled from consideration. And then fast forward to 2020 summer, staff began working with Matt Frisbee on the development concept that we're talking about tonight. So it's been refined over the past few months, since early last summer. And what is now presented is the development plan for this project. Frisbee's proposal is a 3-story, 84-unit senior and independent living facility with assisted living and memory care. He also plans to build 4 55 plus independent living townhomes at 706 Sycamore Street. So the main building is what you see a rendering of on the screen. That will consist of a studio, 1 and 2 bedroom units. There will be common amenities like the lobby space, dining rooms, commercial kitchen, fitness and entertainment rooms, medical consulting, and then many other spaces and support uses. Ebenezer Management Services will manage the facility. So in addition to the PUD, this overall project is one that will require a number of approvals to move it forward. So what we will be looking at doing is reviewing the general development plan tonight. We anticipate the specific implementation plan being submitted sometime in June for staff review, and that will probably be coming to council and plan commission in August. We need to do a certified survey map that will create the development site for the project, and right-of-way will be vacated and Park Street will be realigned. We also need to do a development agreement, and then a TIF district is going to be created as part of this project. So the overall site layout is shown on the screen. Check it out. I have a fancy new tool that I learned how to use, this laser pointer. So here's the overall site plan. So as you can see, East Park is proposed to be realigned to connect to West Park Street. And to accomplish this, 2 homes will be purchased at 660 and 684 South Main Street. They will be demolished to allow for this new road to go through. The streets will be reconstructed. East Park and Sycamore are currently basically kind of a gravel-ish sort of material, and they're going to be reconstructed to city standard with curb, gutter, sidewalk, and then 90-degree angle parking on the south side and north side of Sycamore Street. Other public improvements will include a stormwater pond. It's conceptually shown here on the east side of Park Street. There will be elimination of existing curb cuts on South Main, and an alternative access will be created here for the Associated Dentist building. The parking situation on the site will be 50 underground parking stalls and 41 on-site spaces for a total of 91 for the 84-unit structure, and that meets the requirements for senior housing. And then the 4 townhomes will also each have garage spaces and driveway spaces over here. So in determining whether to approve a PUD, the Plan Commission must consider the criteria listed in the PUD ordinance, and I've got them itemized on the screen there. So the project will benefit the community by providing senior housing to meet market demand. It will include 4 to 6 units for low-income seniors. It will increase traffic safety by realigning the east and west segments of Park Street. The TIF district is being created to eliminate blight and resolve some neighborhood parking issues and upgrade Park and Sycamore streets. While the density is going to increase in the area, the overall character of the design is consistent in terms of building height and distance from the street. And the architectural style is also consistent with other structures, including the River Falls Housing Authority properties to the south. The total project is estimated to be about $22 million in value. And that includes the land purchase, demolition of those existing buildings, construction site work and landscaping, as well as the public improvements with the street infrastructure. And the developer is guaranteeing $15 million for the project. The project will also create 35 full-time positions with wages totaling about 1.6 million annually once the project stabilizes. So this slide shows the existing conditions of East Park and Sycamore Streets. As mentioned, they both will be upgraded to city standards. The developer completed a traffic study for this project at staff's request, and the development is expected to generate 342 vehicle trips per day, with about 25% of that utilizing Broadway Street and 75% taking East Park. Volumes on East Park are expected to increase substantially. However, the proposed reconstruction of that road will accommodate the additional volume. And the development is expected to have just a minor impact on South Main Street, with only 2% increasing vehicles added per day. The study also evaluated whether there would be a need for a traffic signal either now or 5 years into the future. And according to that study, it's not warranted at this time. So as part of our PUD process, we have begun mailing notification letters to property owners within 300 feet of the proposed development. So those went out early April. The public hearing notice was placed in the Star Observer on April 29th. Received one phone call from a neighbor about the property, but didn't have any questions, or mostly questions, but no comments. And then the developer plans to hold a public hearing on the site on June 9th. So next steps, the project is, the GDP is still under staff review. We're waiting for the outcome of this meeting, and the review comments were provided to the developer as of April 28th. So it's our intent that the next steps will be submittal of the the specific implementation plan, the certified survey map, right-of-way vacation development agreement. All of that will kind of come to fruition this summer, and then we'll try to wrap up the final approvals in August. And we expect the building permits will be anticipated late summer, not spring, and early fall. So the recommendation from staff is that the GDP be forwarded to City Council with a positive recommendation. And that concludes my presentation.
So first thing we'll do, thanks, Amy. So the first thing we'll do is we'll close the planning commission, open up a public hearing on this. And if there's anybody either at City Hall or on the phone, Jaden, that would like to talk on this.
I do have one person from City Hall here, I believe, and
Okay.
I have Alan and Matt on the attendee list in case they need to make comments.
Okay. We'll go ahead. Who's ever at City Hall can feel free to come up to the microphone and ask questions or comments.
I'm Kathy Brian. My husband Bob and I own the property at the corner of Broadway and Sycamore. And the question that I have is that we think the plan is very nice. The question that we have is the parking in front of our building. To do the parking the way we were given on the map, you're going to have to cut down the trees that we have there. And instead of having the 90-degree parking, we were wondering if you could do the angle parking instead and keep the trees. Or possibly move the street over, and instead of having the trees on the parking lot side, keep the trees that we have. Is that
Brandy?
a possibility?
Yep. Brandy, looking at the road layout and that, are there options, other options of what we have?
I don't
not
know that
really?
I can answer that. I think that would be something we could take a peek at when we do the evaluation of the specific implementation plan, but we don't have that detail.
Okay. Okay. And that's something for the SIP we could look at then?
So that's not set yet?
No.
Okay. The other question I had is for the June 9th on-site. Do you have a time for that? Are we going to be sent a letter or an email?
I believe that is 5 p.m. It looks like Amy has the answer there.
Yeah, it is 5 p.m. and flyers will be going out and Facebook will be posted as well.
Okay. Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, was there anybody else then, Jaden?
No one else here at City Hall, no.
Okay, and you said the people on the phone were
Just Alan and Matt.
To answer questions people
Yep.
might have had. Okay. Okay, so I think we can close the public hearing and reopen up the planning commission and I'll take a motion on the resolution first. To approve the
Mr.
general
Mayor?
development plan. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I move we approve the resolution approving the planned unit development, general development plan for Dawes Place.
No, not Dawes Place.
Not Dawes.
For 700.
Yes,
South
I'm
Main.
sorry, 7 Black of South Main. There's an error in my packet. Excuse me.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have first and a second. So questions, comments?
I have some if nobody else does.
Go ahead, Patricia.
First, who owns the property now?
That's a good question. Who does own the property right now? I know it's depending on the outcome of these meetings for the sale of the property. So, Amy?
I believe Frisbee Properties LLC owns the property currently.
Okay.
And what constitutes low income range?
I don't think low income has anything to do with this.
Well, there's 4 to 6 units that are going to be for low income, it says.
Oh, that's for, and Amy, go ahead. You can, I'm assuming that's for when people run out of their own money and they rely on the state to pay for it.
I believe that's correct, Mayor. Brandy, unless you have a different information.
I believe Matt Frisbee is on the line if he'd like to
Okay.
chime in.
Matt, are you available?
So those units would be what we had talked about, Mayor, you're correct. And it would be when people have run out of income that the developer is planning to provide 3 or 4 units, I believe it was, to allow those folks to be able to stay without paying the regular rate. And that's something the developer is proposing at this point. It's nothing that the city is planning to hold them to.
Amy, are you able to hear me? This is Matt.
Yes, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor and Planning Commission. So on a couple of those items, it's an elderly waiver, or Wisconsin has a term for it that has that aid for the seniors. Once they pay down their assets, they can go on a waiver program so they don't have to move. So that's one of the things from an income-based standpoint that this project will have. And then I think Patricia had a question about land ownership. As of today, we own all of the pieces. We closed on the last 2 houses, 660 and 684 South Main. There was our college rentals, so we just had to wait for the students to move out. And so those are acquired. So all of the pieces of property that are shown in the development are now under our acquisition and completed.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. Any other questions from the board?
I just
I
have
have more, but I
Oh.
don't want to be the only one. No, I don't want to be the only one. Someone else go.
Okay, go ahead, Craig.
Okay, so I was back to the whole parking issue. That was one of the concerns I had because of, I don't know the ratio of the people that will be utilizing this facility and the drivers and that. But I was thinking about also the combined staff. So once you combine the staff with the residents, they come and going. I'm just wondering if, you know, what is the total parking out there? Was there 50 underground, 41? I'm sure here it is, 40. No, 50 underground, is that right, Mr. Frisbee? Do you see a potential problem with the parking at that facility?
This is Matt again. We do not. We've done this several times, and our most recent one's over in Lake Elmo, and 84 units, and we have the underground parking, and we only see about, say, 20 to 30 of the stalls being used in the underground parking. Keep in mind that the staff is on shifts, so we have 35 staff members, but at any given time, you might have, somewhere around 10 to 12 on any given shift. Is 24-hour care. And then the residents for assisted living and memory care do not drive. So then you have the independent seniors that have the ability to have a car and a space and to drive. And that's approximately, 38 of the residents, separate from the townhomes, of course. So between the on-site parking on grade and the lower level parking, we're actually quite happy with what we have there. We feel that we're more than adequate for the amount of need that we have.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Frisbee. Next, anybody else? Patricia?
Okay, this is more for the engineers. The Riverside cottages that we talked about last time, there's going to be 8 units, and there was a concern with traffic, and we decided that they would go to Park Street. Then there's the 1,300 residents, and they've got 50 units, and they will also be coming north on Main Street. We've got this unit, which has 84. Peregrine Terrace has 92. And within the next 5 years, I'm assuming, according to the Kinney Corridor Plan, we're going to be developing Lake Louise and a regional river ecology center down that way, also using Park Street. So since there's going to be construction on Park Street, it seems to me that a street light that at least has one of those waiting where knowing that one side isn't as busy as the other, but if you pull up within a minute, the light turns. I really think that putting on our long-term glasses, and we're working in that area, and we've got well over 200, almost 300 new units going in with the regional ecology center, that maybe it would be a good time to put in some signals there. And I also think it seems just over the board to have one at Cascade, one at Park, one at Foster, and then one down by Cemetery Road. But I really see that becoming congested in the next, if not 5 years, at least 10 years. And it might be a good time to just do it.
Yeah, so there isn't a lot of underground construction right now with the realignment of East Park Street. We aren't going to be digging into Main Street in that area at all. We did look at these increased traffic projections, knowing all the development that we've got coming that way. And we weren't anywhere close to meeting traffic signal warrants. We did discuss putting conduit under the road where we are tearing up East Park and building it so that we're ready to pull wires in that area if a traffic signal does become warranted. And then we also have the ability to build a traffic signal. It's a relatively quick design turnaround project, and we can assess the people in that. We can assess by trip generation from the developments around it. We've done that before on traffic signals. So I think we feel that we kind of have it covered going into the future, but at this time it's not warranted with this development.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Crystal. Patricia, did you have anything else?
No, that was it. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments on this? No? Okay, Brandy, we have a first and a second on the the resolution for the GDP for the 700 South Main Street?
Oh, thank you, Diane, for pointing out the error in the packet. I found it and I have fixed that. So I'm
Thank you.
good. We'll go with Holtcamp,
Aye.
LaRue,
Yes.
Moody,
Aye.
Prendergast,
Aye.
Odine,
Aye.
Hoffland,
Aye.
and Mayor.
Aye. Okay, next we'll go to Amy Peterson, our Community Developer Director, for the Director's Report.
Mayor, I didn't have anything specific for you this evening, but I would
Okay.
take questions if anybody has anything.
Okay, I don't know, any members have any questions for Amy on anything? No, I mean, you guys are
Is there
doing
any
a great of a
time soon
job.
where-
Oh, go ahead.
I just anytime soon or known that we're going to be starting to meet at City Hall in person again?
Hopefully in July.
Ooh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Mayor, do you know if council will meet in person the first or the second meeting in July?
We're hoping to start at the second meeting in this month. That'll be our first meeting back. That's what we're planning on. If not, then for sure the first one in July.
Okay. So I think we'll plan to follow council. So depending on where they land, we might be July or August, I would say.
Yeah.
So.
Perfect. Okay. I guess that's it. If anybody wants to make a motion to adjourn.
This was Patricia. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Hey, Brandy, we got a first and a second to adjourn.
Holtcamp,
Aye.
LaRue,
Yes.
Moody,
Aye.
Prendergast,
Aye.
Odine,
Aye.
Hoffland,
Aye.
and Mayor.
Aye. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Frisbee, for being on and answering some questions for us. Thanks, Crystal, for stopping in. And thanks everybody for being here tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Everybody take care.